How to get to sleep with a stiff neck. It's a common problem that a lot of people struggle with. Can't get comfortable, and the nighttime is a lot of tossing and turning. Totally understand. At the end of this video, we're going to go over some tips on exactly what to do to make the night a little bit more comfortable. So the first thing with a stiff neck, if anyone's had that or has had chronic neck problems, I sure have, is we want to really improve the mobility of the neck. We want to be, constantly doing some exercises during the day just to keep it loose. The ones that your therapist maybe gave you. At the end of this video, we're going to give you like a simple, gentle stretching program that you could do at the end of the night. But what are we trying to achieve when we're trying to find a good sleep position with a stiff neck? Okay, so this is a normal spine here. This is the lower pelvic girdle. This is the sacrum, triangular bone. This is the lumbar spine. This is the thoracic. And this is the cervical spine right here. And all we want to do is have everything what they call in their normal resting position. So this is a normal, believe it or not, this is a normal curve. We don't have a straight spine. It's almost like a spring mechanism here, okay? So, and this is our head, and if my head was on here, I'd be facing this way. So this is the front, and this is the back. So all we're trying to do when we're working on our sleep position, we first want to be in a good position when we start. Now I understand sometimes that we have people, I call them movers, and they move all night, and they never quite are where they were at the start. They basically change position. But if you can be in a good starting position, even if you get 2 or 3 hours where you're actually in one position that allows your neck to be as comfortable as possible, it'll improve the quality of your sleep. All right, so a couple of things we talk about is lying. Let's talk about our back sleepers. One of the things that we give out here, or we recommend here, is called a neck pillow or a sleep pillow. What you do is you can use this, or you can take even like a rolled up towel and put a bunch of rubber bands around it, something to simulate about this thickness. So you take a normal pillow. I don't want a really big pillow, and I definitely don't want 2 pillows. I want to place this in the base of this pillow, just like this. You can see that kind of slides in here. Nice and comfortably. And then I'm going to pretend this is going to be the skeleton here. We're going to place, this is the base of my skull, this right here, over the top. And all we're trying to do right here is simulate a little bit of support for that normal curve here. Just like there's a curve in the lower back, right here, there's a little curve here. We're trying to place your neck and whatever in a nice gentle position. We want to have it so if the neck can flex all the way this way or all the way this way, we want halfway in between. When we're halfway in between, all the structures around the neck are balanced, almost like guide wires coming off of the sides here. If everything's like a tent, okay, you have a center post and you have all the wires to this post. We want everything balanced, so everything is in this balanced framework. And that's what we want when you're lying down. And that allows everything, including all the segments here, just to rest evenly. It's almost like providing a good foundation. So we want everything nice and even. So when you're sleeping, you're lying down, we want to kind of have, if you're a back sleeper, we prefer to have you sit like so, a little curve right in there. And listen, everyone's different. You may need a smaller roll here if you're a little bit more petite. If you're this 300-pound construction worker, let's say, you may need a larger base pillow and a larger neck pillow. So it's got to fit your neck. So consider that when you're trying to pick out a sleep pillow. Also the changes in density, like this one may be the right density for your neck. You may need a little firmer, but what we're trying to create that curve. Okay, so what if you're a side sleeper? Okay, this is where it's a little bit different. When you're sleeping on your side, we want everything in neutral. So if I had this pillow, if I was lying on my side, I like to have the pillow just on the indent of the neck here. Okay, so I'm resting here like this evenly. I don't want to be excessively side bend, or also I don't want this to be too big so it's actually causing a bend in my neck. Okay, you can wake up definitely a lot stiffer if you have that. So in side lying, what's also dependent is how wide the person's shoulders are. If you have a really wide shoulder base, you may need a second pillow here before we introduce this pillow, okay? So if you have someone that's I have reasonably wide shoulders. For me, I'm kind of angled down a little bit. I may need another pillow here to bring me up a little higher so my neck rests in neutral here. Another thing I suggest too, and I'll just use this pillow for the sake of it, is taking a pillow between your knees and kind of resting here, or one of those full body pillows, kind of resting between here or between your arms. And that'll kind of lessen the amount of turning and rolling you may do. But really, the side pillow here, this is good for side lying or lying on your back. What you don't want is to lie on your stomach and being in a position where you're turned for the rest of the night. And that will typically really lead up to some really poor problems as far as your neck position, your comfort. So you want to be neutral and face down, but not that side and rotated position to either side is not great. And it's not great for your lower back. So this is a nice series of just simple active movements. We're not trying to stretch tissue. We're not trying to create a lengthening of tissue. We're trying to kind of get everything moving around in these smaller joints just before you go to bed. If we do too much, we're going to warm up the tissue, and that's going to keep us warm because everything's kind of hot. So we want to think about this as very gentle, active movement, almost like rhythmical and relaxing. Okay? So the first what I like to do is we're going to go through each position. So the first position is just slowly, gently letting your chin come forward like this. Pause, 1, 2, and then come back up. Make sure you're in a good alignment here. Kind of ears over the shoulder. And then we're going to do a very gentle rotation. Nothing should feel forced. Very gentle to the right, very gentle to the left. Then you're going to face forward. You're going to let your head ear to the shoulder. Same idea. Make sure you're nice and upright. Good posture when you do this. Nice and gentle, rest to the side. You're letting the weight of the head create the stretch. 1, 2. Then back to the other side. 1, 2. You feel a little tissue pressure. And the last one is a retraction and just letting your head fall back. This one I want to show in a side view. So I'm going to kind of turn around like this. I want to have a little arch in our lower back. So your retraction and you're letting your head roll back. If done correctly, you're going to feel like you're kind of coming right over your shoulder. You may be a little tight in this position, but you don't want to have yourself come in and bunch. I'll call this the bunching effect through here. I want to feel like you're here and you're rolling over. You're going past the shoulders. So that's the only thing. So you're going to go through those series. So you're going to go all the different directions I just went through, and you can do a series of 10 times. Very rhythmical, really relaxing. Let's go through it again. Gently chin down, nice and upright. We're going to turn here. Getting a little pressure at the end, back the other way, side bend, chicken retraction, cervical retraction with extension like that, little wiggle at the top. Before you do that, you can do some gentle shoulder rolls just to warm it up before that, let's say 10 times, and then go into this series. And you're going to go through that whole series I just showed you 10 times. Shouldn't take you that long. And then, settle down to bed. You can even do some square breathing, which we've talked about, or box breathing on our previous videos. It's a good resource too. It's a good way to relax you, okay? But I'll send that in the links there. Listen, if you felt like this video helped you out, I want you to subscribe down below, like, or place a comment if you have any questions or concerns about what we talked about. Have a great one and have a good night's sleep.